Hello everyone, ARG back with some more Franchise Hockey Manager 8, and today in the world of alternate universe hockey we are going to continue to strive towards a Stanley Cup for the Ottawa Senators. I'm streaming a lot later than usual, so the lighting in the room is not all that great. I'm not fully set up in my new place yet, but as we all know, nobody here is watching me for my face, so that's okay. That's okay if you don't get to watch all of my defining features or, whatever. Anyway, so today's gonna be November of 2023. In October of 2023, we went 4-3-1, so maybe not the glorious of starts, but good enough for 6th in the East. We're gonna try to continue building on that. I see a few games on the calendar that look like they might be kind of hard, so I guess our depth will be tested. We have Maxence Guénette that's hurt in the minors, but that's about it. There's Gilden that's on waivers that I will not be picking up. We are on the road. We are amidst of I think it was a 4 or 5 game road trip, kind of like in the western part of the hemisphere, I guess. So we are going to continue that, and then looks like we're going to be kind of alternating home and away games quite a bit. So let's get going. Hopefully we're going to get a little bit of a better month from Brady Tkachuk. If I remember correctly, he only has 1 point in those 8 games. So we definitely need a little bit better from the captain. And Drake Batterson also has only 1 point. Definitely need better from those 2 guys. We demand better. So also new, I changed my headset. It shouldn't affect the volumes or anything like that, but if you hear something weird, please let me know. And AFJ, you are up late. I am up late, but you are up late. It's a lot later where you are than where I'm at. Alright, so the Kings have put Cal Peterson on waivers. Connor Bedard has a memorable game. Now, Connor Bedard, as we remember, was drafted by the Wild. So he's playing already in the NHL as an 18-year-old. He had 4 assists against the Buffalo Sabres. Alright, Eugene Melnick is happy with my work. We went 4-3-1 again. Oh, are you getting up for work or something? Or have you just not gone to bed yet? Ooh, Max Gilden was picked up by Pittsburgh off of waivers. Sorry. Yeah. Dang, man. Living the life. Are you moved in back with your folks yet, or are you still at your own place? Alright, so the Sens are going to be in Vegas to play against the Golden Knights. Golden Knights are 3-5. Let's take a look at their lineup. No injuries in the capital of sin. Oh, okay, somebody moved back in. So what have you been doing lately? I haven't seen you, I haven't been streaming much with the move and everything, and I've had internet issues a lot, so it made streaming really hard. Alright, so Vegas has Patera and Leonard in net. On DD have Leighton, Hatch, Cormier, Martinez, Theodore, Korshak, Pochal, Pietrangelo. Up front they have Pierre Engvall, Smith, Cotter, Marchessault, Pacioretty, Lissishin, Carlson, Auden, Eichel, Ratcliffe, Ronberg, Zadina, Dadonov, and Mark Stone. Alright, let's see if we can beat Vegas. Philip Gustafsson is going to be in net for us. Robin Lehner is going to be in net for Vegas. And of course, go Sens go. Because it's late doesn't mean I am not cheering for my team. And we won 5-4 in overtime / shootout to start the month. So a victory on the road to start. That's always great. Oh, so you've been studying for your finals and everything. Yeah, I guess, you know, that's probably a good thing. Yeah, the Abs got first overall. Are they going to pick Shane Wright? A new Abs hat. Alright, so 5-4 victory. Mason Shaw was the first. We outshot Vegas 48-34. Mason Shaw was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Max Pacioretty was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Brady Tkachuk, third star with a goal and an assist. So the captain waking up offensively a little bit. We kind of needed that. All indication shows that they're going to go for Shane Wright. You should be okay. You shouldn't have to... you know, go commit some heinous crimes or anything like that. So Vegas scored first in the first period. Then they added another goal in the second. It was 2-0 Vegas at that point. Then Mason Shaw scored his 5th on the power play. That was unassisted. It was 2-1 Vegas after 2. Then in the third period, Mason Shaw scored again on the power play from Thomas Chabot and Patrick Kane. It was tied at 2 at that point. Then Vegas took the lead again. And then Drake Batterson tied the game from Brady Tkachuk and Thomas Chabot. And then Brady Tkachuk gave us a lead from Artem Zub and Patrick Kane. It was 4-3 Sens. But with 5 seconds left to go in the third period, former Ottawa Senator Mark Stone scored his first goal of the season to tie the game. It was 4-4. That went to overtime. Nobody scored. That went to the shootout, where Patrick Kane, Jonathan Marchessault, and Angus Cruikshank all scored 2 goals to 1 for us. So that was a 5-4 victory in the shootout in Vegas. Dear God, you love your hats. Where's your Sens hat? I'm a little disappointed. There hasn't been a whole lot of... I saw that the Mariners have slowed down a little bit. I was looking at the standings today, and the Mariners had started pretty hot, if I remember correctly, and they kind of slowed down. Walker Duehr has been put on waivers by the Flames. Sidney Crosby has tallied 1,500 points in his career with a goal against Calgary. Crosby is 36, and he's still a 5-star player. Oh, so never then. Okay, I see how it is. Alright, so I am getting an offer for Adam Gaudette, and I might take it just to shed some salary. And it's kind of funny because the trade offer is coming from Vancouver, and Adam Gaudette did play in Vancouver. They're offering me Arvid Kosmar, a 22-year-old center man, in return for Adam Gaudette, whom I have buried in the minors. I am trying to say that as unbiased as I possibly can. I do think that the new Sens gear looks pretty cool, like the colors and everything. I dig it. I do. Alright, so, of course, you're not paid all that much. You're still in your entry-level contract. He was a 7th rounder picked in the 2019 draft. What do we know about Arvid Kosmar? Okay, those are American. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he hasn't exactly lit the world on fire, has he? He's from Sweden. I wasn't the biggest fan of the old one, with the logo kind of facing, you know, towards. I don't know. I never was a fan of the Abs logo. The colors, yes. I think that the red jersey for the Abs is absolutely phenomenal. Like the colors, the stripes and everything. Never was a fan of the logo though. That's personal opinion, obviously. God, am I making that trade? I think I might. I'm getting myself out of a bad contract that I have offered myself. I'm making the trade. There you go. Alright, so I'm getting Arvid Kostmar just to shed some salary. Adam Goddett goes back to Vancouver. And then Vancouver made a trade with Seattle where Jason Dickinson goes to Seattle in return for a first-round draft pick. Alright, we're going to go ahead and send our newly acquired player, Arvid Kostmar, to Belleville. And that's going to help my salary cap. I'm allowed to be wrong. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, and Philip Daou got hurt in the minors as well. Now let's advance one more day. And we're going to be facing our former teammate Adam Goddett, because the next game is in Vancouver against the Canucks. Oh, Jake Evans has been put on waivers by Carolina again. Riley Sutter as well. Nathan Walker on waivers. Riley Damiani on waivers. And Wyatt Newpower on waivers as well. Brendan Duhaime is suspended in Minnesota. He's going to miss 5 games. No further punishment for Travis Konechny in Philadelphia. Not suspended. JT Compher signed by Winnipeg, so JT Compher is now a member of the Jets. He signed a 1-year deal. Oh, Victor Mete, former Ottawa Senator Victor Mete just signed in Chicago. A 1-year deal. And Darnell Nurse has been put on the block by the Oilers. Interesting. Alright, we're about to play Vancouver. Vancouver is having a terrific start to the season. They are 8-1-1, and they just added Adam Goddett to their lineup. We have not played Vancouver so far this year. Let's take a look at their lineup. Alright, so they have Jeremy Davies that's hurt. He's not gonna play. In net, they have DiPietro and Thatcher Demko. On D, they have Truscott, McDonald, Ekman Larson, Quinn Hughes, Jet Wu, Tyler Myers, and Alexandre Carrier. Up front, they have Musty Pearson, Miller, Luchuk, Marody, Orvat, Peterson, Asselin, Oglander, Garland, Besser, Adam Goddett that they just got from us, Podkozlin, and Klimovich. Let's see if we can give the Canucks their second regulation loss of the season. That would be beautiful. Matt Murray back in net for the Sens. Thatcher Demko in net for Vancouver. And of course, go Sens! Oh, we lost 4-3 in overtime / shootout. Alright, we get a point, but that's still a loss. Ooh, we outshot Vancouver 50-27, and we ended up with the loss. Thatcher Demko there getting the W for his team. Jet Wu was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Thomas Chabot was the second star of the game with a goal. And Marody, whatever his first name is, I forget, was the third star with an assist. Alright, so we scored 3 goals in the first period. It looked like we were going to run away with that game. Tim Stutzel scored from Drake Batterson and Mason Shaw. Then Thomas Chabot from Parker Kelly and Juraj Slavkovsky. Then Dougie Hamilton from Patrick Kane and Josh Norris. It was a 3-0 Ottawa lead after 1. In the second period, Vancouver clawed back a little bit into the lead with a goal. It was 3-1 after 2. Then they tied the game in the third. It was tied at 3. Nobody scored in overtime, and then in the shootout, Conor Brown scored, Alex Formenton scored, Samuel Asselin scored, and then Mason Shaw missed, and that was it. Alright, so we are 1-0-1 so far this month. There was no stopping Steven Stamkos, who had 3 goals and an assist against the Florida Panthers. Austin Matthews reaches 600 points in his career. He had 2 assists against Washington. Austin Matthews is 26 years old, and he is still a 5-star player, obviously. Tom Wilson's suspension ended. He is back in the lineup. And Senna Peters converts to right wing for us in the minors. Alright, we have another day off, and then we're going to be back home for a quick game against the Florida Panthers. So you haven't touched out of the park baseball or anything? You were focusing on your finals? Red light stays on for Braden Shen. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Wild. You think you're going to be able to beat my little challenge, or have you just given up? Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 12 games with an assist against Pittsburgh. And Connor McDavid extends his point streak to 12 games as well in the same game, obviously, playing on the same team. Now we are hosting the Florida Panthers. Panthers are 5-6 so far this season. That is good for 6th in the East. Gotcha. Well, you should focus on your school. That's probably more important. Let's take a look at the Panthers. We have not played them so far this season. Vatrano, still with Florida in my universe, is hurt with fractured ribs. He's not going to play. In net, it's Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight. On D, they have Buchinger, Carlson, Forsling, Uyghur, Ristolainen, and Ekblad. On D, they have up front they have Benson, Oremba, Sarella, Ernie, Verhage, Eponiemi, Lundell, Bennett, Barkov, Love, Schwint, Tippett, Reinhardt, and Duclair. All right. Oh yeah, that's true. Didn't the Buffalo Sabres pick up Uberto on free agency? That's what happened. Okay, I remember now. All right, let's face the Panthers. We're back home. Spencer Knight is going to be in net for Florida. Philip Gustafsson is going to be in net for the Sens, and of course, come on, go Sens. Oh, a 5-2 victory over the Panthers. So back home, feels good. We doubled the Panthers in shot, 46-23. Juraj Slafkovsky was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Angus Cruikshank was the second star of the game with 2 goals. And Brady Tkachuk was the third star with 2 assists. 16,965 people in attendance for this game. Angus Cruikshank, I cannot massacre his name. He has one of the coolest hockey names you can ever find. Scored the first goal of the game from Juraj Slafkovsky and Neil Pionk, then Nino Niederreiter from Artem Zub and Juraj Slafkovsky, then Angus Cruikshank again from Artem Zub and Juraj Slafkovsky. Then the Panthers scored. It was 3-1 Ottawa after 1. Nobody scored in the second. Then in the third, Patrick Kane scored his 5th from Brady Tkachuk and Josh Norris. Then Josh Norris from Patrick Kane and Brady Tkachuk made it 5-1. Late in the third period, Florida scored, made it 5-2, but that was the end of the game. We won this game 5-2 fair and square. Angus Crookshank improves at center. Right, we have a couple of days off and we're going back on the road for one game against the Islanders. Good night for Jacob Vrana. He had 4 goals and an assist against the Rangers. That is indeed a pretty good game. Jake Gunsel extended his assist streak to 8 games with an assist against Vegas. Right, day off and then in New York to face the Islanders. Right, Riley Stillman and Dustin Brown have been put on waivers by the Kings. Great night for Zemgus Girgensons, now playing in Arizona. He had a hat-trick against the Kraken. Dylan Dubé extends his assist streak to 8 games. He had an assist against the Jets. And Nick Paul got suspended in Belleville. He's going to miss 3 games. Alright, Islanders are 5-6. They are 11th in the East. Let's take a look at their lineup. We have not played them. Right. So there's 1 injury for the Islanders, and that would be Riley Smith. Alright, so Sorokin and Skarek in net. On D, they have Thomas, Icky, Pellick, DeAngelis, Pullock, Carrick, Strand, Dobson, and Leslie. Up front, they have Anders Lee, Anthony Beauvillier, Talvainen, Cizikas, Pajot, Nelson, Rooney, Barzal, Bailey, Palmieri, Holmstrom, Smith, and Wallstrom. Let's see if we're going to beat them. Another road win would feel pretty good. Matt Murray in net for the Suns. Jacob Skarek in net for the Islanders. Go, Suns, go. Road victory. Come on. Yes, a 3-2 overtime / shootout win. I will take it. Yet again, we have outshot the opposition 45-38. This time, Skarek was the first star of the game. He made 43 saves in a losing cause. Brock Nelson was the second star of the game with a goal and an assist, and Matt Murray was the third star with 36 saves of his own. Nobody scored in the first. Then in the second period, Tim Stützle scored on the power play from Mason Shaw and Patrick Kane. It was 1-0 Ottawa, but then the Islanders scored twice. It was 2-1 Islanders after 2. In the third period, we tied the game. Josh Norris scored from Angus Crookshank and Lassie Thompson. It was tied at 2. That went to overtime. Nobody scored. And then, yet again, it was a shootout win thanks to a Juraj Slafkovsky goal. He was the only one to score. So a 3-2 victory. Ryan Shea has been put on waivers. So as Matt Roy with the Kings. The Kings are putting a lot of players on waivers. Ooh, Josh Norris is day-to-day with an injury. I don't like it. League watching, need rather day-to-day with Kafka. Dear God, another day-to-day injury. Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 13 games. He had an assist against Montreal. Connor McDavid extended his point streak to 13 games as well with an assist as well. Alright, so the Kings are waiving Matt Roy, and then there's been a trade between the Kings and the Rangers. Alright, 4th round draft pick goes to the Kings for Gerald Mayu. Oh, dear God, and Neil Pionk is also day to day. So I have Niederreiter, Pionk, and Josh Norris that all got hurt against the Islanders. What the frack is going on over there? All right, 2 of them are playable. Neil Pionk is not playable right now, but I have 3 days off, so I think we're going to be okay. Man, the competition is fierce in our division. We're having a good start, and we're like 3rd. Marcus Johansson has been put on waivers by Pittsburgh. So did Marcus Peterson. And Ross Colton has been put on waivers by the Sabres. Lots of news today. Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 14 games with an assist against Toronto. McDavid also extended his streak with a goal in that same game. Jake Gunsel extends his assist streak to 9 games with a goal and an assist against the Wings. Ooh, Kyle Connor is hurt in Winnipeg. That's going to hurt them. He's out 3 weeks. It's not the end of the world. He has a strained rib cage muscle. Andrew Cup extends his assist streak to 8 games. Still in Winnipeg. He had an assist against the Blues. Dylan Dubé extends his assist streak to 9 games with an assist against the Kraken. JT Miller extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against the Sharks. Ash Peterson extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal and an assist in that same game, and that was 8 straight games with an assist for him. Yeah, we saw that they put Ross Colton on waivers. Oh, Sabres claim Ryan Shea off waivers from the Rangers. Nick Ritchie signs in LA. He signed a 1-year deal. And then there's been a trade between the Capitals and the Panthers. Damian Wright was traded to the Florida Panthers for Matt Luff. Right, another day off. Chicago's the Brent Cat is not suspended, stays in the lineup over there. Strong game for Jason Robertson with the Stars. He had a hat-trick against the Blackhawks. Neil Pionk is feeling better. And rumor has Columbus moving Stenlund. So Kevin Stenlund has been put on the block. With another day with a bunch of news. Alright, so great night for Evander Kane. He had 3 goals and an assist against Buffalo. Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 15 games with 2 assists in that same game. McDavid 3 assists, still 15 straight games for him. There was no stopping Brock Nelson with the Islanders. He had a hat-trick against the Panthers. Brian Rust extends his point streak to 12 games. He had a goal against Washington. Jake Gunsel extends his point streak to 12 games with an assist in the same game. That was also 10 straight games with an assist. Jacob Vrana extends his assist streak to 8 games with 3 assists against the Devils. Andrew Cup's assist streak ended at 8 games. He did score a goal against Colorado but did not get an assist. Strong night for Jordan Eberle. He had a hat-trick against Nashville. Dylan Dubé's assist streak ended at 9 games. No point against Vancouver for him. Andrew Mangiapane set everything up tonight. He had 2 goals and 4 assists against Vancouver in that same game. Wow. It was 5 straight games with a goal for Mangiapane. Elias Peterson extends his point streak to 13 games. In that same game, he had 2 goals, and that was his 8-game streak with assists ended because he didn't get an assist, just 2 goals. Niederreiter feels better. Neil Pionk feels better. And Steven Stamkos signed an extension with Tampa Bay, a 4-year extension, $5.64 million per season. Wow, that's kind of a good deal. Alright, we are about to play the Kings, so we have 2 home games in a row. Alright, so we have Norris and Pionk that are still not 100%. Niederreiter is feeling better. Alright, so the Kings are in town. They are 6-6 this season. They made a lot of roster movements, so we're going to go ahead and see what they have. Well, they have some injuries here. So Samuel Fagemo is hurt, not gonna play. Brendan Lemieux is hurt. Nobody's gonna feel sorry for him. He's gonna miss this game. And Vladimir Tarasenko is also hurt. The players that are gonna play, we have Nedeljkovic and Blackwood in net. Wow, complete turnover for goaltenders in LA. No more Quick or Peterson. Now it's Nedeljkovic and Blackwood. On D, they have Mikey Anderson, Stillman, Riley, Walker, Clark, Doughty, Spence. Up front, they have Athanasiou, Kempe, Afalo, Ricci, Dano, Kupari, Byfield, Villardi, Kopitar, Pinelli, Arvidsson, and Kalaev. Alright, let's play the Kings. Oh, looks like we're giving Josh Norris the day off. Alright, Mackenzie Blackwood in net for the Kings. We're going to go to Matt Murray in that one. Go, Sens, go. A nice 5-1 home win against the Kings. We outshot the Kings 33-31. Tim Stützle was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Patrick Kane was the second star with 2 goals. And Mason Shaw was the third star with a goal and an assist. 16,483 people in attendance for the game. Sens scored 3 times in the first period. Patrick Kane from Tim Stützle and Drake Batterson. Then Tim Stützle scored his 5th from Eric Brandstrom and Mason Shaw. Then Patrick Kane scored unassisted. It was a 3-0 lead for the Sens after 1. Then in the second period, Dougie Hamilton scored from Igor Sokolov and Alex Formenton. Then the Kings scored was 4-1, Ottawa after 2. And in the third period, Mason Shaw scored on a power play from Tim Stützle and Eric Brandstrom. It was 5-1. That was also the end of the game. So a nice 5-1 victory. Michael Rasmussen has been put on waivers by the Oilers, Brendan Perlini as well, and also Ryan McLeod. Neil Pionk is completely back. We are going to be happy about that. And then Pittsburgh is offering us a trade. They are offering us Leighton Stenman for Nick Paul. I will say yes to that, because Leighton Stenman has some potential. Now, he might never reach it, but that's something that I'm willing to do. Again, that's going to shed a little bit of salary for me. I'm going to complete that trade. I am happy with that. Alright, and as a result of the trade, Pittsburgh is waiving Radek Faksa. So, I don't know, I got myself a young player. Now, is he gonna become good? I don't know. I'm gonna put him in Belleville and let him develop. He's only a half star right now. Alright, we are... Cameron Lee has been put on waivers as well by Pittsburgh. Alright, so we are hosting Montreal. Abs are 4-11 this season. That is good for 15th in the East, believe it or not. That's not even the worst team at 4-11. Now we're going to take a look at the team. couple day-to-day injuries. Carter Berger being one of them, and then Blake Lizotte being the other one. In net, they have Carey Price and Caden Primo. On D, they have Norlinder Clegg, Stevensberger, Petrie, Savard, Dermott, and Weir. Up front, they have Hoffman, Toffoli, Drouin, Pezzetta, Savoie, Suzuki, Pitlick, Lizotte, Conor Brown, Brendan Gallagher, Joel Armia, Cole Caulfield, and Ilonen. Alright. Oh, we're still without Josh. Oh no, Josh Norris is playing third line today because he's hurt. Alright. Carey Price in net for the Abs. We're going to go with Philip Gustafsson. Go, Sens, go. Oh, a 9-0 victory for the Sens over the Abs. Too bad that FJ is not around anymore to witness this wonderful display of superiority. We have outshot Montreal 41-24. Patrick Kane was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. Juraj Slafkovsky was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Artem Zub was the third star with 2 goals and an assist. We had a sellout crowd in Ottawa. Artem Zub opened up the scoring in the first period from Patrick Kane and Neil Pionk. Then Artem Zub again from Juraj Slafkovsky and Alex Formenton. Then Patrick Kane scored on the power play. That one was unassisted. 3-0 Sens after 1. Then in the second period, Drake Batterson scored from Neil Pionk and Artem Zub. Then Juraj Slafkovsky from Lassie Thompson and Angus Cruikshank. Patrick Kane from Shane Pinto and Dougie Hamilton. And then Drake Batterson from Juraj Slafkovsky and Eric Brandstrom. 7-0 Sens after 2. In the third period, Mason Shaw scored on the power play from Patrick Kane and Sim Stutzel, and then finally Brady Tkachuk from Igor Sokolov and Thomas Chabot completed the 9-0 massacre of the Montreal Canadiens. If you know me well, you know that this score really makes me happy inside. Oof, a lot of news again. Oh, Mason Shaw is day-to-day now. Alright, I guess. No further punishment for Brandon Carlo in Boston, not suspended. Jacob Vrana's assist streak ended at 8 games. He did get a goal against Boston, but no assist. Yevgeny Malkin has produced 1,200 points in his career. He had a goal against Tampa Bay. Yevgeny Malkin is 37 years old, and he is still a 4-star player. Brian Russ extends his point streak to 13 games. He had a goal in that same game. Jake Gunsel extends his point streak to 13 games. He had a goal and an assist in that same game. That was also 11 straight games with an assist for him. Vasily Ponomaryov is suspended with the Hurricanes. He's going to miss 7 games. Miro Heiskanen extends his assist streak to 8 games. He had an assist against the Avalanche. No further discipline for Edmonton's Krause, so former Ottawa Senator Lawson Krause not suspended. Vladimir Tarasenko has achieved 300 goals in his career. He had 2 goals against the Edmonton Oilers. Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 16 games. He had 2 assists in that game. Connor McDavid extended his point streak to 16 games as well with 2 goals. Elias Peterson extends his point streak to 14 games with a goal and an assist against the Blackhawks. Strong game for Alex DeBrincat in that same game. He had 3 goals and an assist. And finally, Josh Norris is fully recovered. Whew, that was long. All right, a couple of days off, and then we're going to be playing in New Jersey against the Devils. Brian Rust's point streak ended at 13 games. It was held scoreless against the Carolina Hurricanes. Jake Gunsel's point streak ended at 13 games as well in that same game, and his assist streak obviously ended as well. Another day off, and then we'll be in New Jersey to play the Devils. Alright, so I hate when I see that. So Washington just signed Slater Kukuk to a contract, no problem there. 1-year contract, that's fine. And then they try to pass him through waivers. That happens too much. Alright, we're in New Jersey to play the Devils. We have not played them this season. They are 6-7-1. That's good for 10th in the East. They have a few injuries. Tyler Madden is hurt, not gonna play. Alex Galchenyuk is hurt, not gonna play. Yannick Kokanen is hurt, not gonna play. And Nolan Zajac is hurt, may or may not play. So in net, New Jersey has Pavel Francouz and Schmid. On D they have Graves, Smith, Zajac, Odelius, Walsh, Murray, Stevenson, and PK Subban. Up front they have Wood, Palat, Boquist, Kukonen, White, Ishier, McLeod, Hughes, Cote, Vecchia, Olds, Sharangovich, and Bratt. Alright, so in New Jersey to play the Devils, Philip Gustafson's going to be in net for that one. Acura Schmidt is going to be in net for the Devils. Go, Sens, go! Another win, 5-4 road win. We will take it. 45-27 the shots for the Sens. Angus Crookshank was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 3 assists. Jack Hughes was the second star with 2 assists. And Juraj Slafkovsky was the third star with 2 goals. Devils opened up the scoring in the first, then we scored 3 unanswered goals. Juraj Slafkovsky scored from Angus Crookshank and Neil Pionk. Then Angus Crookshank scored on the power play from Thomas Chabot and Patrick Kane. Then Juraj Slafkovsky from Angus Crookshank and Eric Brandstrom. It was 3-1 Ottawa after 1. The Devils tied the game in the second period. It was 3-3 after 2. Then in the third period, Igor Sokolov scored unassisted. Then Tim Stützle scored on the power play from Angus Crookshank and Patrick Kane. It was 5-3 Ottawa at that point. With 4:58 to go in the third period, New Jersey came to within 1. It was 5-4 the score, but that was too little too late. We won this game 5-4. Dougie Hamilton is hurt. That's not good. Hopefully not for too long. He is day-to-day. Alright, we might be okay. Artem Zub converts to left defense. Alright, we have a couple of days and then we're going to be playing against the Anaheim Ducks. Mason Shaw, Maxence Gennett, and Dougie Hamilton are all hurt. That's the second time that Gennett is hurt. Jacob Vrana extends his point streak to 12 games. He had 2 goals against his former team, the Washington Capitals. Miro Heiskanen extends his assist streak to 9 games. He had 3 assists against the Jets. One more day off, and then we're going to be hosting the Anaheim Ducks. The Kings just signed Nick Ritchie, and now they're trying to pass him through waivers, and Riley Stillman again. They did that earlier. Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 17 games with an assist against the Islanders. Connor McDavid extended his point streak to 17 games as well with 2 goals in that same game. Elias Peterson extends his point streak to 15 games with an assist against the Wild. Brock Besser extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal against the Wild. Brendan Duhaime is back from suspension with the Wild. Mason Shaw is feeling a little bit better for us. Alright, Nick Ritchie is on waivers as we saw. Ooh, Pittsburgh has put Sidney Crosby on the trading block. That is crazy. Alright, Anaheim is in town. They are 7-8-1 this season. We have not played them. Let's take a look at their lineup. Alright, they are without Jacob Silfverberg. He is out 1 to 2 months. Other than that, their team is pretty healthy. In that they have Gibson and Stolars. On D, they have Matheson, Fowler, Zellweger, Nardella, Beiruther, Gross, and Drysdale. Up front, they have Henrique Delorier, Agostino, Brakovsky, Comtois, Tracy, McTavish, Stevenson, Richard, Zegras, Perrault, Raquel, Inostroza, and Troy Terry. Are we able to win this game as well? We're doing pretty good so far. Anthony Stolars is going to be in net for Anaheim. We're going to go with Philip Gustafsson for that one. Go Suns! And another W for the Suns. A 2-1 victory at home. Ooh, first time of the month that we got outshot. 31-30 in that one, so it was still pretty close. Drake Batterson was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Troy Terry was the second star with a goal, and Tim Stützle was the third star with a goal. 15,807 people in attendance for the game. Tim Stützle opened up the scoring in the first from Drake Batterson and Shane Pinto. It was 1-0 Ottawa after one. Then in the second period, Brady Tkachuk scored from Jacob Bernard-Docker and Josh Norris. 2-0 Ottawa after two. In the third period, with 2 minutes and 1 seconds left to go in the game, Anaheim finally scored, made it 2-1, but they failed to tie the game before the end, and we won this 2-1. Ivan Prosvetov is on waivers, so is Logan Stanley. Bunch of news again. Mitch Marner extends his point streak to 12 games with 2 assists against the Devils. And it was 8 straight games with an assist for him. Austin Matthews extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal in that same game. Jacob Vrana's point streak ended at 12 games. Didn't get a point against Pittsburgh. Jake Virtanen will miss 5 months. What did he get? A fractured eye socket. Jake Virtanen is playing in Arizona, so they will miss him for 5 months. Miro Iskanen's assist streak ended at 9 games. He was held scoreless against the Flyers. Nils Lundqvist has a great game for the Rangers. He had 4 goals against the Flames. Strong night for Mika Zibanejad in that same game. He had a goal and 4 assists. Memorable game for Artemi Panarin in that same game. 4 assists for him. Mason Schuck completely recovers. He is back. And Maxime Fortier signed a 1-year deal with Columbus. Alright, we have a couple of days off, and then we're going to be in Carolina for a quick game, and then we're going to be home for a few. Martin Jones has been put on waivers. Memorable night for Jalen Schwartz with Seattle. He had 4 assists against the Blues. Elias Peterson extends his point streak to 16 games with 2 goals and an assist against Nashville. Brock Besser extends his point streak to 13 games with a goal and an assist against Nashville. And Prof. Svetov was claimed off waivers by the Buffalo Sabres. Right, we have a day off, and then we're in... Oh, the Hurricanes are not having a great time this season so far. They should be good, unless they completely gutted their team, but I don't remember them doing that. So what's going on over there? It is a mystery. Oh, there was no stopping Conor Brown, former Ottawa Senator, now playing for the Habs. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Devils. Mitch Marner extends his point streak to 13 games with a goal and 2 assists against Colorado. That was also 9 straight games for him with an assist. Austin Matthews extends his point streak to 13 games. He had 2 assists in that same game. Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 18 games with an assist against the Rangers. McDavid also extended to 18 games. It was a goal and 2 assists for him. And Josh Maniscalco has been signed by the Columbus Blue Jackets to a 1-year deal. Alright, Carolina is 6-10-2. That's good for 12th in the East. Let's take a look at their lineup. We have not played them so far this season. Alright, so they have Ponomariov that is suspended, so he's not going to play. In net, they have Makiniemi and Koshetkov. On D, they have Drapeau, Inkley, Shea, Slavin, Bear, Pesci, Keane. Up front, they have Kotkaniemi, Jarvis, Svechnikov, Koivunen, Taves, Ponomariov, Trocheck, Ao, Suzuki, Fast, Martinuk, Teravainen, Neshash, and Gunler. I think they should be better than what they are, but, you know, if they continue to lose against me, I'm not going to complain. Philip Gustafsson in net for us, Itu Makiniemi in net for Carolina. Go, Sens, go! Another win, a 3-2 road victory over the Hurricanes. We were outshot 36-32 in that one. Neil Pionk was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Andrei Svechnikov was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Thomas Chabot was the third star with an assist. So Hurricanes scored first in the first period. It was 1-0 Carolina after 1. Then in the second period, Angus Cruikshank scored his 5th of the season from Alex Formenton and Artem Zub. Then Brady Tkachuk scored from Neil Pionk. It was 2-1 Ottawa after 2. Then Kim, for me a little bit. I'll show you my lineup. I signed a pretty big free agent to a 1-year deal. That's why I made the move. Carolina scored in the 3rd. They tied the game, and then Josh Norris scored his 5th from Thomas Chabot and Neil Pionk. 3-2 Ottawa, the final score today. So we're going to go ahead and advance that here. Oof, that's a lot of news again. Alright, so John Quenneville, Joachim Blickfeld, Philip Danault, wow, and Sean Walker have all been put on waivers. Alright, let's go through the news real quick. Alright, so Bobby Nardella will miss 4 months with an injury in Anaheim, so out for a while. Prolific passing night for Nikita Kucherov, 4 assists against the Ducks in that same game. Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 19 games with 2 goals and 2 assists against the Stars. That was also 8 straight games for him with an assist. Connor McDavid also 19 straight games with a point with 3 assists in that same game. Elias Peterson extends his point streak to 17 games. He had an assist against the Islanders. Brock Besser's point streak ended at 13 games, so is ended. Sean Walker on waivers. Philip Danault on waivers, we just saw that. Blickfeld on waivers as well, and Quenneville on waivers. Alright, so I did make some... Oh, I have a few day-to-day injuries. So that is my lineup. We are in 2023-2024. Not a whole lot of changes, but a big one up front on the right wing. So I did sign Patrick Kane to a 1-year deal worth 8.88 million. And he's been pretty good so far. I didn't want to tie him up for too long because he's 35 years old, but he helps fill a void in my lineup until Slavkovsky is developed a little bit more. So that's the biggest. I did make a trade for Dougie Hamilton as well, who is a pretty good defenseman. Made a trade for Neil Pionk, he's okay. But that's been pretty much it. Another big move that happened is that Jonathan Uberto signed in Buffalo. So Uberto is in Buffalo. That's kind of cool in a way, unless you're a Panthers fan, I guess. I don't know that there's been that many big trades other than that. I remember that there's been a few, but I don't quite remember the specifics. Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of players past 30 declined pretty fast, but Patrick Kane was just off another point per game season. So I was like, I can do 1 year. And he has been pretty good so far. Let's see. Yeah, he has 25 points in 17 games so far. So I was like, sure, let's do 1 year of Patrick Kane in Ottawa. All right, we are about to play against the Flyers back at home. Flyers are 9-6 this season. They are 8 in the division. Ouch. Yeah, that's early. That sucks. Especially Draisaitl should be a beast. He's big and talented. Alright, so we have not played the Flyers this season. They do have Patrick Nemeth that's out 3 to 4 months. Other than that, they look pretty healthy. They have Omen Art in net, Goldsmith, York, Provorov, Zek, Oberg, Brandon Montour, and Ryan Ellis on D. Up front, they have DeBrusque, Van Riemsdyk, Farabee, Giroux, Hayes, Couturier, Patrick, Wisdom, Forster, Radulov, Konechny, Lixell, Allison, and Brink. Let's go ahead and see what happens with this game. We have won our last like 5 or 6 games. Carter Hart is going to be in net for Philadelphia. We're going to go back to Matt Murray for that one. Go, Sens, go. Oh, another victory. 6-3 win over the Flyers on home ice. 39-22 the shots in favor of the Sens. Josh Norris was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Tim Stützle was the second star with an assist. And Lassie Thompson was the third star with 2 assists. 16,464 people in attendance for the game. Mason Shaw opened up the scoring in the first. That was a power play goal, unassisted. Then Thomas Chabot made it 2-0 from Neil Pionk and Josh Norris. 2-0 Sens. Then the Flyers scored, made it 2-1. But Mason Shaw scored his 10th from Patrick Kane and Lassie Thompson. It was a 3-1 lead for the Sens after 1. No score in the second period. Then in the third, the Flyers actually tied the game. And then we scored 3 goals in a row. Juraj Slavkovsky scored his 5th from Parker Kelly and Angus Cruikshank. Thomas Chabot from Tim Stützle and Jacob Bernard Docker. And then finally Drake Batterson scored his 5th in an empty net from Lassie Thompson and Josh Norris. 6-3 the final score today. Victor Olofsson extends his assist streak to 8 games in Buffalo. He had an assist against Nashville. And Semi Blais has been suspended with the Rangers out 7 games. Whew, that's a lot of games. Alright, we are about to play the Lightning. Lightning is 8-7. That's good for 10th in the East. Now imagine with a 13-3-2 record, we are not even first in our division. Alright, so we are 0-1 against Tampa Bay. We did lose 3-0 against them earlier this season. And it was at home as well, so now it's time to enact revenge. Oh, sorry, the game is tomorrow. I got ahead of myself. Ooh. Ryan Murray has been put on waivers by the Devils. Gabe Vilardi extends his point streak to 12 games. He had an assist against Arizona. There was no stopping Troy Terry. 3 goals and 2 assists against the Wild. Then Dougie Hamilton might be back soon. That'd be great. I could use Dougie Hamilton in my lineup. Oh, I'm playing Tampa Bay and Toronto back-to-back. Oof, that's 2 tough games here. All right, everything I said about Tampa Bay is still accurate. We're just playing them for real this time. Andrei Vasilevsky is going to be in net for Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with Philip Gustafsson. Go, Sens, go. Let's get revenge here. 5-2 victory. I think that's 7 straight wins for the Sens this month. We have outshot Tampa Bay 31-23. Drake Batterson was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Doug Hamilton celebrated his return to the lineup with a goal. He was the second star, and Josh Norris was the third star with 3 assists as well. 16,904 people in attendance for the game. Tampa Bay opened up the scoring in the first. That was a 1-0 Tampa Bay lead, but then Thomas Chabot tied the game from Drake Batterson, and Josh Norris tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second period, Doug Hamilton scored from Drake Batterson and Thomas Chabot, and then Nino Niederreiter from Eric Brandstrom and Josh Norris, 3-1 Ottawa after 2. Then in the third period, Tim Stützle scored from Drake Batterson and Josh Norris, made it 4-1. Tampa Bay scored, and then Patrick Kane scored his 10th in an empty net from Brady Tkachuk and Neil Pionk, 5-2. Yes, but my player personnel also has to do with that a little bit. So for my defenseman, I tend to get a lot of two-way defensemen, and I found that a lot of times that's the success to outshoot the opposition. Actually, a little bit before you joined here, I made a mention. So far this month, I only got outshot twice, and one time was by 1 shot. So basically, I find that if you have a lot of good puck-moving defensemen, it really helps. I don't really have like a big tough defenseman. Those are all defensemen that are decent at moving the puck, all of them. I would say my most defensive defenseman is going to be Artem Zub. But he's on my third pair. I traded Colin White and Tyler Boucher, which was our first round draft pick in the last draft in real life. So I believe that's what I traded. I don't think there was anything else involved. Let me check. Yeah, so I traded Colin White and then Tyler Boucher. Yeah, which Tyler Boucher now is, at the time that I traded him, he was seen as a 5-star potential player, but I kind of had a feeling he might not get there. Yeah, he is. So yeah, it was Colin White and Tyler Boucher that was seen as a 5-star prospect at the time for Dougie Hamilton. Hamilton had been put on the block by the Devils, so they were probably a little bit more willing to move him to shed some salary, so I took it on. I do pay that guy $9 million a year. Alright, let's advance here, and we're going to go ahead and play the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oof, a lot of news again. Right, Columbus, Gustav Nyquist will miss 4 months with a torn rotator cuff. That's more of a baseball injury, but okay. It's funny, in baseball it takes almost a full year to recover from a torn rotator cuff, but in hockey apparently it only takes 4 months. Mitch Marner's point streak ended at 13 games. He was held scoreless against the Islanders, so his assist streak ended at 9 games. Austin Matthews' point streak also ended in that same game. Gabe Vilardi extends his point streak to 13 games with a goal against the Stars. Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 20 games. He had 2 assists against Montreal. That was 9 straight games with an assist for him. Connor McDavid extended his point streak to 20 games in that same game. He had 2 assists. Good game for Jack Eichel in Vegas. He had 4 assists against Buffalo. Oh, against his former team. Victor Olofsson extends his assist streak to 9 games, 2 assists in that same game. Elias Peterson extends his point streak to 18 games. He had a goal against the Rangers. Doug Hamilton is completely or almost completely recovered. And the Kings are trying to move Anze Kopitar, which is only the second most surprising name we've seen on the block this month, after seeing Sidney Crosby being put on the block by Pittsburgh. Alright, Doug Hamilton completely recovered. Look at that. I am completely healthy. Not even in the minors do I have an injury. I am fully going. Yeah, he's considered to be a reach in real life. And a lot of people don't think that he's going to do much. He struggled in college, then he moved to his junior team in Canada, and it took him a little while to get going over there as well. So the Sens are considered to have reached for him, and I'm not sure how he's going to develop, to be honest. So we'll see, I guess. But wasn't the best first draft selection I have ever seen, at least not on paper. Alright, so Toronto is in town. They are 13-4-4. That's good for second in the East, behind, yeah, you got it, behind us. Now, we are 1-0 against Toronto this season. It was our first game of the season. It was at home, and we won 4-1. I would love to repeat that to create some separation with Toronto in the standings. Ian Scott is going to be in net for Toronto. We're going to go with Philip Gustafsson. And, of course, go Sens! The Ottawa Senators have forgotten how to lose a hockey game, and that makes me very happy. A 5-4 overtime/shootout win here over Toronto. We outshot Toronto 44-41. Tim Stützle was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Austin Matthews was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Dougie Hamilton was the third star with 2 assists. Sellout crowd here in Ottawa, 17,000 even. Patrick Kane opened up the scoring in the first. That was a power play goal from Thomas Chabot and Lassie Thompson. It was a 1-0 Ottawa lead at that point, but then Toronto scored 3 straight goals. It was 3-1 Toronto after 1. Then in the second period, Nino Niederreiter scored from Igor Sokolov and Neil Pionk. It was 3-2 Toronto. Then Toronto scored again. It was 4-2 Toronto going into the third period. I bet that Leafs fan felt like it was their Stanley Cup coming again, right? Because we all know what they did when they won that third game in the playoffs this year. They were very loud on Twitter, but I haven't heard much from them since. Kind of funny how that works. Alright, in the third period, Tim Stützle scored from Patrick Kane and Dougie Hamilton, made it 4-3 Toronto. Then Juraj Slavkovsky, the rookie, tied the game with 42 seconds left to go in the third period from Josh Norris and Dougie Hamilton. We had a 4-4 game that went in overtime, where Tim Stützle played the hero with his 10th of the season from Artem Zub and Brady Tkachuk. It was a 5-4 victory for the Sens. Right, and then one day, not even one day off, the very next day we are going to Florida to play against the Panthers. Suspension over for Ponomaryov. So back in the lineup in Carolina. Good game for Brad Marchand. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Canucks. Elias Peterson's point streak ended at 18 games. He was held scoreless against the Bruins. There was no stopping Mika Zibanejad. He had 3 goals and an assist against Columbus. Good night for Artemi Panarin in that same game. He had 5 assists. Victor Olofsson extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal and an assist against Calgary. And that was 10 straight games with an assist for him. Alright, we are now in Florida to play the Panthers. Panthers have turned it around a little bit since last time we played them. They had a losing record at that point. They are now 11-10. That is good for 7th in the East. We are 1-0 against them. We won 5-2 at home. We're playing them on the road now. Let's see if we can beat them. Matt Murray is going to be in net for the Sens. Sergei Bobrovsky in net for the Cats. And of course, Go Sens Go. Another win! Oh my god. Eugene Melnyk's gonna have a heart attack. I don't want to make jokes about people that are already dead in real life, but that's too much winning. Alright, 4-3 overtime / shootout victory in Florida against the Panthers. Let's go ahead and see. We outshot Florida 43-30. Juraj Slavkovsky was the first star of the game, he had a goal. Alexander Barkov was the second star with a goal and 2 assists, and Ridley Gregg was the third star with an assist. Brady Tkachuk opened up the scoring in the first, that was his 5th of the season, from Patrick Kane and Dougie Hamilton. Then the Panthers tied the game, it was 1-1 after 1. Then in the second period, Juraj Slavkovsky scored from Ridley Gregg and Angus Cruikshank, made it 2-1 Ottawa, but then again the Panthers tied yet again, 2-2 after 2. Then in the third period, we took our third lead of the game. Nino Niederreiter scored his 5th, that was unassisted. And again, the Panthers tied the game with a minute 38 left to go in the third. That went to overtime, nobody scored in overtime. And in the shootout, Duclair and Kane scored, then Barkov and Shabbat scored, and then finally Juraj Slavkovsky, the rookie, gave us the win in the shootout. Pretty clutch. Pretty clutch. Gabe Vilardi extends his point streak to 14 games with an assist against the Sharks. Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 21 games. He had a goal against Buffalo. Leon Draisaitl's assist streak ended at 9 games though. He only got the goal, no assist. McDavid's point streak is at 21 now with an assist in that same game. Victor Olofsson's point streak ended at 12 games in that game against Edmonton. So of course his assist streak ended at 10 games as well. And we have 1 day off, and we're going to play the last game in November, which is going to be at home against the Vancouver Canucks, that we're going to be playing for the 2nd time this month. Pierre-Olivier Joseph has been put on waivers by Pittsburgh. So has Marcus Peterson. Oh, and there's been a trade between the Bruins and the Penguins. Cameron Hughes goes to Pittsburgh for Ryan McCleary. Eh. Alright. And then last game of the month, Vancouver is in town. Oh, Vancouver still has a good record, although they have slowed down since I played them last. They are now 13-7-1. We did lose against Vancouver. It was an overtime or shootout loss. It was 4-3. Now we are at home. Thatcher Demko is going to be in net for Vancouver. Philip Gustafsson is going to be in net for us. And of course, Go Sens Go for the last time in November of 2023. A 3-2 victory at home against the Canucks. We have outshot the Canucks 32-22. Igor Sokolov was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Podkolzin was the second star with a goal. Thomas Chabot was the third star with a goal as well. 15,459 people in attendance for the game. Vancouver opened up the scoring in the first. Then Igor Sokolov scored from Josh Norris. It was tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second period, Thomas Chabot scored his 5th of the season from Mason Shaw and Drake Batterson. Made it 2-1 Ottawa. Then Vancouver tied the game 2-2 after 2. And then in the third period, Igor Sokolov scored the game winner. That was his 5th of the season from Nino Niederreiter. 3-2 Ottawa, the final score. Yeah, Pierre-Olivier Joseph was claimed by Florida. And November, don't really care for now. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and advance one more day to make it December 1st. Ugh. The Sims take so much time when you play current day compared to, you know, playing historical. Alright, Tyler Benson has been put on waivers by Florida. Liam Draisaitl extends his point streak to 22 games with an assist against the Flames. Connor McDavid extends his point streak to 22 games as well with a goal against the Flames. Oh, speaking of which, I have to check what the score is in the Alberta battle in the playoffs tonight in real life, obviously. Top setting Ottawa Senators jersey for November: Patrick Kane, Drake Batterson, Thomas Chabot, Matt Murray, and Tim Stützle. Alright, development report that I'd like to take a look at. Ooh, that's not good for the orders. I will say Smith got pretty good. In the first round, he was a lot better than I anticipated. So what's the score? Okay, Chabot got better. Ridley Gregg is getting a little bit better. Okay, not too terrible. I guess Smith allowed the 3 goals kind of quickly or something. Probably why he got pulled. Yeah, that sucks. Sucks for the Oilers. Although I predicted a Calgary-Carolina finals. That's my prediction. So we'll see about that. Right, and the top selling jerseys in November in the entire NHL was Steven Stamkos. Right, and the players of the month of November were Connor McDavid and Philip Grubauer. Ooh, Seattle has a winning record. Alright, so November is over. I'm going to go ahead and save just in case. I've been having some internet issues lately. Alright, so after November of 2023, we are sitting atop of the conference with 36 points in 22 games. That is pretty good. We have a 17-3-2 record. That's pretty darn amazing. I would be ecstatic if the Sens had anywhere close to that record in 2 years to start the season. Alright, let's take a look at the standings. Let's see if Washington is still the worst team in the league. I don't think that they are. No, Montreal and Arizona are the 2 worst teams in the league. And we are the best team in the league with our 36 points. So yeah, there you go. Go Sens go, right? Alright, that's pretty cool to see. Now let's take a look at our stats. Now we've been fairly healthy. We've missed we've had guys that missed a couple games due to day-to-day injuries, but we haven't lost anybody long-term yet. So let's knock on wood, or you know, your closest material. Right, so our best player is Patrick Kane with 30 points in 22 games. He's also our sole point per game player. Then there's a huge drop-off, and at 17 points are Mason Shaw and Josh Norris, 16 points for Tim Stützle, 15 points for the rookie Slafkovsky, that's pretty good. Chabot is our best defenseman with 14 points, then it kind of goes down from there. Yeah, Brady Tkachuk still kind of struggling, 11 points in 22 games. Batterson 12 in 22. I'm expecting a little bit more from those guys. Alright, let's take a look in the entire league. So the best goal scorer is Connor McDavid with 18 goals. Zibanejad is second. DeBrincat has 15. Then it goes down from there. The best passer is Connor McDavid. And that means that the best scorer in the entire league is Connor McDavid with 50 points. Second place is Leon Draisaitl at 37. On my second line, my centerman is more of a shooting centerman, I guess. It's Mason Shaw. I picked him up on waivers, and he had a pretty good season last season. He had 66 points in 70 games last season, but so far this season he has 17 and 20, which is good, but he doesn't have a whole lot of assists. That might be why that I'm struggling with. And Tkachuk plays with Norris and Kane. Kane gets all the points. Let's go back to my stats here. Now I want to look at the goalie leaders because I think that Philip Gustafsson is there in a few places. So Gustafsson is 7th for the save percentage at .924, which is excellent. He's second tied for wins with 11. And for goal save above average, well, nobody's there on my team. Oh well. Yeah, he's kind of rotating people on the fourth line. Like right now, Shane Pinto is not dressed, but he plays his share of games. So he's kind of rotating the players a little bit from what I have seen. Like Pinto and Greg are both centers, but they're not dressed right now. Pinto is not quite developing to my expectations of him in real life. That makes me sad a little. I'm gonna go ahead and save the game. I'm also gonna go ahead and call it a night. It's time for ARG to start having at least the thought of going to bed. So, as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here at the end here with me, Kim. I appreciate it. Always welcome, of course. Now, if you're catching this on YouTube and that somehow you made it till the end of this video and that you like the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you folks next time. And good night, Kim.